There we go.
All right, you got it.
Okay, welcome friends to the Spirit Essence Show. Jenny is watering her garden out there, and we are here for a beautiful conversation with whomever is joining us. Nancy, Lizina, both lovely individuals that I just adore, who are here to help and support those that are sitting here with us right now. I really am on a roll tonight of having no idea what I'm talking about. So this is going to be an interesting show, and we are just going to go with the flow. Okay, so welcome friends. Spirit Essence by Tara Diana with the lovely, as I said, Lizina and Nancy. We have a small group, you guys. It's summer. People don't want to be sitting in their house. They should be outside with Jenny watering flowers. Someone should be watering my flowers.
That's right. Yes. I gotta
hot. It's hot. It's hot and stuffy in here. And every time we turn on our AC and someone uses the microwave, we blow a circuit.
Oh, that's
and
not
then my
good.
husband blows a gasket. So it's this continuous thing in my house right now. How is everyone doing? Where are we at? How are we enjoying summer? Are we needing some guidance, some help, or are we just in the moment? Hello, Bim. She's like, hey. You guys can't see her.
I had my sister call me, and I didn't want to. We were trying to touch base. I just let her know. So okay,
we're good.
So tell her to come on.
Yeah, tell her to come and join us. Your sister's all intuitive.
I don't know which one you're talking about. The younger one, probably.
Oh, the other one. Okay. Well,
yeah, no, she's not on right now today. There was the other one. My kind of twin, if you want to call it that. So
okay,
yeah.
Well then she should be intuitive because you are.
Oh well, I guess we both have something. So we kind of we basically kind of talk to each other and kind of bounce off things and get ideas and stuff.
Nice.
Like that. Okay.
It's always nice to have someone like that, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. I have my dog. She's snoring. I have no interest in listening to you right now, Mom. Just you don't need anything from me. Okay, let's talk a little bit, guys. Now, Lizina brought this up and I loved it. I don't know if anyone saw my post, but I posted something about people reaching out to you for do you need a message? Can I give you a message? Do you I have something, I'm drawn to you. I love that. I was drawn to you through Facebook. You were just scrolling and you saw me and suddenly you had a message. I mean, deep down, it's so hokey, you can almost not stand it. But let's talk about it for a second. Fraudulent people coming through and reaching out to you and sucking you in. Now, every single person right here, I truly feel that you are not vulnerable enough in your state to be drawn into that, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for the vulnerable. So we were just discussing this. What they're looking for is algorithms. They're looking at what is going to attract you to them. Just a second, iPhone's coming on in. So they're looking for it. They're reading your posts. Are you suffering? Are you putting a lot of inspirational quotes on? And if you are, what kind of quotes are you putting on? Are you putting on the kind that are like, woe is me, lift me up? Are you putting the happy, happy, joy, joy ones? They're looking at your ethnic background. How can I relate to you? Will you be comfortable if I approach you? But let's be honest, guys. Hey, Andrea, let's be absolutely honest. Random strangers reaching out to you, telling you, because this is what they'll say, I have the most beautiful message for you and I'm drawn to you and I need to tell you this message. Yeah, right? So, Lizina, you remember when I started first doing the lives, all these people would pop in and be in the comments going, can I give you a message? I have a message for you. Can I give you a message?
Yeah.
And so they pray.
It's very rude.
Yeah.
It's very rude, I thought.
So rude.
Someone else's show. That's just not good.
I remember, I'm going to be careful here. I remember I read for someone once. And they told me, I said, you do readings. And she's like, yep. And I said, and you do fairly well with them. And she said, yeah. And I said, well, that's cool. And I didn't know where to go with it. And then she proceeded to give me a little bit of information. She did them all over Facebook. She never saw the person. She would do the card reading and send it to them with a voice memo. And she would go into other people's friends lists and see, you know, who would be interested. And she'd approach them and be like, would you like a reading? I'm doing it for $25. It worked.
Of course it worked.
Mhm.
You know, people like this are preying on the vulnerable. They're preying on people who don't necessarily understand the metaphysical community. And I'm about to get on my soapbox. Any of us who do the work, we do it from love and light, and we operate from a code of ethics. And we operate from, like, I've got a whole medium list, if anybody wants it, of when you're doing mediumship readings, here's the code of ethics that you operate from. And I follow that religiously. It's about integrity.
It is. Absolutely, it is. I mean, there is, and we teach that in our groups, but whether it's even psychic intuitive stuff, but there is a way you have to do the work. So if you're reaching out to people, and that's why I personally really thought that shows like My Mom's a Medium, Long Island Medium, all those shows that come out, and they're all walking around just giving messages to John Doe. We know that it's not John Doe. We know they've been approached. We know that they know what's going on. But it really gives me a bad taste in my mouth as someone who is a spiritualist. And not every reader is a spiritualist. You guys know that, right? As a spiritualist, though, I am being of service. I follow the 7 principles. I cannot even remember what all of them are, but when they read them out, I follow them. But I follow the 7 principles. And I am not invading anyone's space. I don't need the money that bad. And I don't walk around attuned. Does that make sense? Like, I am not on 24/7. When I see Lucy actually lives about a half a block away from me. And when I'm walking down the street with my dogs and I see Lucy, I'm not on. I'm not reading Lucy. I'm not reading her guides. I'm not bringing in any of her loved ones. I'm literally like, hey, don't come too close. She bites. And Lucy's like, hey, I know. And then, you know, we have a conversation. It's nice. I am not on 24/7. If I see Christine at Serendipities, I'm not reading Christine. If I see Lizina for lunch, I'm not reading Lizina for lunch. Nancy and I are walking dogs, which has never happened, but might one day. If we're walking dogs, I'm not reading her, nor is she reading me, because who wants to be on 24/7? And no one should expect that of a reader, unless you're Long Island Medium, I guess.
But you hit on a key point though, Tara, like it's a television show. Everything that you see is set up, and even in the readings they do, you know, when we're doing a reading and we get evidential stuff that comes through, they've taken an hour-long meeting and condensed it into 5 minutes. And suddenly, yeah, and your grandmother named Georgina, you know, Tara Smith is coming through and she's telling you messages of this, this, and this, and you're going, really? Like, and so it also sets up the rest of us who do this as like, well, why aren't you bringing through a storybook and, you know, all of that?
You know, I can remember one of the ladies that trained under me. I find that weird to say that now, that I've actually mentored people. I find that weird to say it, but and she said to me, you know, she thought that the Long Island Medium was the best thing that could happen to us. It was going to put us up on this pedestal, you know, look at what's going on. And I said to her, you know that all the producers that have approached me, I've had 3 producers approach me, 3 producers, I've done documentaries, I've had them come to my home. They've all told me the same thing, which was make it entertaining.
Yeah.
And I said the same thing back to the first one, to the second one, to the third one. I said, how do you do that?
Your life is pretty entertaining though.
It
Mine?
really,
Yeah.
No, but they were talking about the reading.
No, I know. Oh, okay. So I'm like, well,
Yeah, I could have taken them to a lacrosse game, windmills, you know.
yeah.
I'll tell you something, guys. We just went to the final game for our season, and we were playing the top team. We being my husband always says, "Why do you say we? When was the last time you put on a lacrosse helmet and pick up a stick?" But Ryan was playing his last game, and it was well, it could have not been our last game if we'd won, but it was against the absolute best team in the league. They have won every game they've played the whole season. They beat us the day before, 5-12.
Yeah.
So there gives you a little bit of context. I have never heard my husband, we tied the game up 10-10, the second game. So we had to go into overtime. I've never heard my husband scream at refs like he was screaming. Go back to Victoria. Are you being paid by Victoria? You're going to miss the ferry. It was terrible refing for sure. But I was like, oh my God. Now I can be vocal. If someone's getting pummeled out there, I'm the first one to jump up and be vocal. So yeah, you're right, Lizina. There could have been some very good moments. Very good moments. I'm also a dance mom, so that could have been something too. So
I just have to say that anyone that is a sports mom or dad for any, right? We can say that's us. That's we did well because we are invested. We are driving those kids. We are bringing the snacks. We are making sure we get up at 5 so they can make their 7 o'clock move games and stuff. So go ahead and say it.
damn it, I'm
very
living
invested.
through Ryan.
I know you are invested. You even coach when the coach is like,
I did. I coached a bunch of their Ryan plays on a men's team between the age of 17 and 22, and the coach couldn't make it. He was stuck in Detroit. I was like, I'll go. Yeah, I didn't coach anything, friends. I just stood there looking good. Okay, but the point of the matter is that these people, when this woman said to me, "Oh, I think this is going to be the best thing that happened to us," and I was like, "It's not. It's really not, because everyone's going to expect us." So what I do when I'm doing group readings is I always say, "So does everyone know the Long Island Museum?" And you'll see their face light up like that. Yeah, totally. The odd person doesn't. I don't know how that's possible. But anyway, their face lights up and they're like, "Oh yeah, totally." Or they'll talk about Sylvia Brown. Right? They'll get into these, and I'll be like, "Okay, so I'm not her. I'm not James Van Prague. I'm not John Edward. I'm not any of those things. I am Tara, and the work I'm going to do with you is going to be absolutely authentic. Spirit works easily and effortlessly through me if you allow it to happen. But if you want me to be entertaining, I will tell you a story like you've never heard, but it won't be anything to do with readings." And people are like, "Oh no, now they're enthralled. Now I've got them." They're like, "Okay, well, what does this authentic medium kind of sound like?" I'm not saying that any of those readers that I named are not authentic. But really, when you get to a certain point, there's expectations of you. There's expectations because now you've got a whole employee list of things you have to do. So you got to keep bringing people in. You got to keep having this. People like Nancy and Lizina and I, which are, we can read worldwide. We have clients all over the world, but we are not traveling all over the world. As far as I'm going right now is, Calgary and the interior. But we can do the exact same thing, but just from a place where there's not as much pressure. So we're not here to entertain per se. We're here to give those actual messages, those true messages. And I'm a whole lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. I when I'm standing on platform, I am, it's natural for me. I get the heebie-jeebies. I try to convince myself not to do it. And then once I'm up there, it's all good. And it just is what it is. So fraudulent people, let's go back to the topic. Lucy, you want to say something?
You once said, "Make what you want you." So when I approached you for a reading and you came to my house, that felt good in my intuition. But if I wanted to see Teresa, she's going to reach out to 3,000 other people. That's not going to be intimate.
There is no intimacy in those readings.
True.
Right? The other thing about those readings, and this is something that when I was really trying to think of what am I trying to accomplish, and I have changed what I've tried to accomplish many, many times with my mediumship. And I one of the things was, you try to book with Sylvia Brown, James Van Prague. James Van Prague, you're looking at a 4 to 5 month wait, 45 minutes online for $700 to $800.
oh my God.
So let's talk about that for a second. That used to be, not in Vancouver, but in Hope maybe, or I don't know, Spuzzum. That's a mortgage payment.
Yeah.
Right? That's rent. And if you have to wait 4 to 5 months to see someone, does your issue not dissipate by then? Don't people come for readings? A 2-week wait, 3-week wait is plausible, right? Nancy?
They, I won't name the lady that I studied under, but famous television medium. Her wait list is 3 to 5 years. Her readings are $1,500. And she was taken to the Better Business Board Bureau because she kept canceling and rescheduling. And I remember my niece, who's also a medium, saying to me at one point, I was so excited, even though I've been a medium since I was like a tiny toddler. I'm so excited. I'm going to be a medium. I'm getting a piece of paper. And she was like, you've been a medium your whole life. What do you need the piece of paper for? I went, I don't. I really don't. And I didn't go through like the final process of whatever the final getting the certification was. But it didn't surprise me when everything started sort of unfolding in this Better Business Bureau. And, you know, she was running, everything kept chasing the almighty dollar to replace what she had already had shortcomings of. Like she even did like a master mediumship class where she was going to make you like a master medium, and it was $5,000. And I had a friend on the island who's very, very famous medium, actually has a store with crystals and stuff. And she signed up, and I said, what are you doing? You're already a medium. You're doing these readings. You don't need to give someone your money. And it was unfortunate because a lot of these mediums are so charismatic. They end up with such a high following, and you want to do more with them. You want to purchase every class. You want to do all the things with them, but they've become so about the dollar that they're not operating from an ethical or integral place anymore.
Absolutely beautiful way to state it.
Yeah. And one of the reasons I never, ever, ever want to slag her name, because one of her life lessons and one of her life journeys is about her relationship with money. So that's for her. That's not for me. But it just really helped me dial into, I will never, ever operate that way. It will always be ethical. It will always be from the right place.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, I went to Stansted. Does everyone know what Stansted is?
Why don't you tell everyone in case listeners don't know?
Okay, so it's the Arthur Findlay College in England, and it is a beautiful, beautiful castle on a huge piece of property, and they run intuitive. It's like a college. You go there to learn intuitive mediumship, trance healing, everything you can think of, painting, all of it is run out of there. And I went because a good friend of mine wanted to go, and she was still on her spiritual journey. She was still trying to find her little nuances and whatnot. And the things that happened to her over there were fantastic and very, very plausible. But when I got there, I loved the place. Oh, let me tell you, going there just to look at the place was enough. First of all, they eat a lot of potatoes in England. Can I just say that? Every meal was like 4 different kinds of potatoes. And the next thing was that they didn't know what to do with me. So they didn't know what to do with me because I already did all the work. So they threw me into a trance class. That's not my point here. My point is there's been a lot of people that have gone to this college several times, and they've come back. And they go because they think they're going to become more. Mm-hmm. It doesn't always work that way. Now, the girl that went with me, she became more. I came back the same as I was, just a bit heavier because I ate a lot of potatoes. But it brings me to this point. If we are all psychics and we are all mediums, and we are, some are natural born, some find it later on in life, some have to work through a whole lot of humanness to get to that point. And that's good. That's good. That's your journey. It doesn't mean that everyone should do the work. And there are a lot of people that do this, good intentions or not, that shouldn't do the work. And that's okay. But it puts a really, really weird spin on those of us that do it authentically, consciously. That's a good word. Not talking about trance, but consciously, who are trying to help others find their peace. Whether that's bringing a loved one in, whether that's providing them with some energy work. It's really, really hard to hold your head up high if you are thinking about where the next dollar is coming from. That doesn't mean that you can't have that exchange. You have to. I mean, I am someone who's had to really look hard at my website and all those things and where I put my dollars, my hard-earned dollars. I think sometimes people think that Lizine and Nancy and I, you know, we're sitting around just talking to dead people and giving you messages and having the time of our lives. But a reminder to this is that there is a lot that runs through us. Sadness, sorrow, pain, anguish. There's a lot of good stuff, right? We get a lot of happiness, joy, but there's a lot of the work we do is mostly to help those that feel they need help. And when you need help, you're not feeling the good feels.
We're
Right?
absolutely humans. We're absolutely humans living similar experiences for sure.
That's how we can relate, and that's how you're able, some of the things that people are going through, we've gone through ourselves, and we've had experience in that. I early on in my early life, I got duped by someone who was a reader, a healer, and I learned some very valuable, hard lessons, which still serve me. And not to be like that, and to always be in your integrity, you know, and we are all humans. We're all doing our own work and still being of service, right? We're learning our lessons the same way as everyone else. But this is a calling that we answered. Let's say, okay, I'll do it. Let's do it, right? But at the same time, it's like, it's a parallel. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to have the balance in both worlds to do this. You have to have your boundaries. You have to have all those things in place. That's why we talk about clearing space. You know, and some people will laugh at you and be like, oh my God, she's waving a smudge stick around and whatever. Hey, bro, you don't have to be in the smoke. You stay over there in your issues and we'll be clean as a bell. And we'll be able to move into the next space. I don't have to convince anyone of anything. I even say that in my readings. I'm not here to convince you of anything. Take it or leave it. I'm just here to be of service in the vessel. This is what I have for you.
I often tell people in my readings, my whole goal is to put myself out of business. Like, it's really not about the money. It's about the healing. It's about the messages. And everyone can do this work. I mean, they don't have to do what we're doing and do readings, but they can do it for themselves. So,
Yes.
you know, that's my whole goal, is to empower people to learn to connect to this, to do it themselves. So, you know, they don't feel that they have to look outside of themselves for that validation. But if you need to, we're here.
But let's be honest, you know, the reading is the least of the work that we do. In the sense, it's the teaching, it's the giving of the information, the passing along what we have that has worked for us and shown to us by spirit. That is the gift. When I do release and manifestation work with people, that is what I have to offer. The reading is the bonus. Me telling you what to do is your bonus.
I get a, sorry,
go ahead.
No, sorry, finish.
I was just going to say, and remember, what spirit and I tell you, it has to resonate with you. Spirit never lets us down, but if it doesn't resonate with you, then it's not your time to do it. And that's okay. I'm sorry, Lizina, go ahead.
No, it's fine. I interrupted you, sorry. And for me, it's so satisfying when I see someone who has learned for themselves, be able to use the information and get a great result out of it themselves, doing the work, or coming to an awareness and understanding, unraveling something on their own. We are sharing the tools, we are sharing the messages, but it's up to each individual, it's up to each one of us to take what spirit gives us and do something with it, right? And it's we can give you the information, but what are you going to do with it? How are you going to make this work for you? What are you going to do with it, right? And so these are things I believe you have to think about, right? Because sometimes the things that come through us, sometimes people aren't ready to hear that, and it's like, oh, okay, and you got to go take a step back, and this is the guidance that's coming through. Do you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that is absolutely it. Sometimes it's just not the right time, but it puts a little bit of a little niggle in you. It gives you like a little thought process, because even though you might not be able to take it right now, your subconscious has grasped it and buried it and said, oh, let's nurture this. Let's nurture this until you're ready. And then it's going to pop up. You'll be like, oh my God, that person, Lazina, gave me this message. I totally blew her off. I wasn't paying attention. I blew her off, but oh my God, she was right. Okay, friends, let's go into the next part of this, right? Because the three of us aren't frauds, and we're going to come to you with authenticity, and we're going to come to you. One of the things I said is that you come to us. This is a perfect place right now. We're going to do this for 15 minutes, and let's see who needs to know something. We're not doing the bringing in from loved ones. If you need something from us, this is the perfect place. This is a beautiful space right now, small amount of people. If you need to ask us something, if you'd like us to focus on something, put your hand up, and those little handy things that I never use, but let's go like this. Oh, I did a
reaction.
hand clap. No, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah, you did clap though. That was good,
There.
Tara.
Yeah, I'm clapping.
Yeah.
I'm celebrating now too.
Yeah. Hey.
I don't have a question for anyone.
Oh, that's awesome.
Put up your hand if you've got something you want to ask us, and it can be anything.
Yeah.
Let's do this. We're trying. No one has anything. Everyone's thriving.
All right,
okay,
Jenny.
Let's go, babe.
Jenny's
Let's
got
go.
some.
Then Linda, Jenny, and then Linda.
Okay, so no, I'm sorry. My husband and I are having a chip fight over here. So
Oh dear.
no, okay. So I was having an epiphany idea today, and I'm wondering if, without saying what it is, if anyone could pick up and see if it's a good idea or not. It has
Is
to
it
do with art,
metaphysical?
kind of, and artsy. Yeah, definitely
Okay.
metaphysical.
So when I put it out, where's my card? When I put it out right away, I got go for it. And then I'm just going to pull a card. Really, I'm not going to spend much time because there's a lot of us here.
I'm good.
Silver Sisters, time to take. Oh my God. So this is your card.
Oh, pretty.
Oh, nice.
So basically, I know, isn't that gorgeous? I want to look
Yeah.
like that. Basically, they're saying to you, take away any doubt from it and put the right energy into it. So shall it be. Does anyone else get anything quickly with that one?
I totally get, so for those of you who know, I've done like a spirit grid board, and I worked with spirit and I downloaded. I'll show it to you. I think, Jenny, I've done a reading for you with this board.
It's a great
Someone-
board. I love it.
My guides came through and told me it's that kind of next level that you're working on. So to absolutely follow through on it, whatever you're having come through as you're being divinely guided. And spirit never wastes a thought. I want you to remember this. If they've imposed a thought on you and you don't take an act on it, they're going to give it to someone else. So absolutely go with it. It's meant to be.
Thank you.
I feel go for it. Just
Very
good energy
positive.
all around. Yeah.
Thank you, done.
Woo-hoo, we all get 10%.
I really want to know what it is now. I'm like that kid at Christmas. I'm like, me too.
Yeah. We'll have
Sorry,
to wait.
I'm having an allergy attack if you guys wonder why I keep clearing my throat and coughing.
Linda, go ahead, sweetie, then Peggy.
I guess I just wanted to ask, how do I kind of connect to spirit better? Like I've I guess I've sort of been on a spiritual journey and, do meditations. I took courses, but sometimes I feel like, when other people talk about things like, oh, like I sense this energy from this crystal, or I sense my guardian angel or something like that. Or, like say Farina, who came to my home to do a Reiki healing for me, she's like, oh, I sense dense energy in your home, did like a clearing for me and everything. And I'm like, I can't sense anything. So I don't know what it is I have to, I guess, do any work that I have to do, or how do I, ask for guidance and know for sure that, okay, like this is coming from spirit and I'm getting it.
May I? No, Tina looked up at me. She's like, Tara's itching.
Yeah.
Linda, one of the things that I teach my students right off the bat is that there is no right way or wrong way to feel spirit. We are all very unique and we all do it very, very differently. And one of the things that I teach them is that if you believe in what you're doing, if you trust the process, you don't even have to engage your sixth senses the same way some of us do. Holy, the screen just completely changed over.
I know.
So you don't have to, oh, Andrea, oh no, she's there. You don't have to do that. So my thing to you is this: if you trust the process, if you trust what you're getting, if you don't need at a human level the aha moments, then you're doing the work. It is that simple. If you believe that you are doing the work, so shall it be. I'm not big on clearing spirits of people's homes unless there's an absolute reason to do it, because most of the time those spirits are there with purpose. 9 times out of 10. You didn't even recognize they were there. So she kicked them to the wind, which she felt she had to do, fair enough. But you didn't even know they were there because they didn't need to let you know. They weren't causing harm. They weren't doing anything. Make sense? So for
Yeah.
you, I'm just going to make this quick. We could have a whole session on this, but I'll make it quick. If you know you're doing the work, you know. If you really need that aha moment, then you need to find someone that can guide you into a space to provide that aha moment, whether it is getting you into the know, the claircognizant, right? Getting you to that space where you accept that this is your clair. This is how you work. You just know. I hope that made some sense to you, sweetie.
Yeah, like I'm probably, if I had any classes, probably clairvoyance, I guess. Like I imagine things very easily in my mind's eye, but sometimes it's like, am I just making things up, or
That's a
am I
trust
really
thing.
getting something from it?
That's a trust thing. That's a trust thing, sweetie, and you'll have to do some deeper work with that for sure. You will have to do some belief work and some trust work. Hit me up and I can show you some tricks.
Sounds good.
Anyone else want to add anything to that? We've got Peggy and iPhone.
I just wanted to say, Linda, that like Tara said, there are many clairs and many ways to receive. One of the things that that I learned, and Tara has taught a lot of people this, is that asking your spirit teams or your guides, what do I need to know today? Just ask the question. And I always tell my clients, just be open to receiving an answer in a conventional or an unconventional way. You may, if you're open to things and you don't have like a structured way, well, I need it to come through this way. If you allow it to be open and free flowing, that message will find its way and it'll come to you in the way that you can understand it. Like for me, for instance, I get a lot of movie references. I get songs. I get a lot of, well, everyone knows about the movies and all of that, right? But a lot of media stuff, right? And because I understand it, I'm able to translate it and feel the frequency that way. So that was the way that it started for me. I still get it like that, plus other ways now, but it's because I trusted that. It was easy. It's like when you're learning to speak, you have to learn the alphabet, right? And then you have to learn how to put those letters together. And I always told my son, when you learn the alphabet, it's like having a secret code. You can put these things together and the whole world will open up for you. It's kind of like that for me. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you, Lizine.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's go to Peggy. Unmute.
Hi, ladies.
Hi.
I know I'm going to be sent. I'm trying to get to Nancy's next course because I think that's where I'm supposed to be going.
Yeah.
This is my collection of feathers that I find on a daily basis. I know there's a message. Tara, we have had messages. I've asked you and gotten it, but I just feel like I'm not getting it or something's not happening. So I did reach out to Nancy. I keep on running into the same group of birds. So I feel like I need to learn how to communicate, I guess, better with nature. But I just feel like when I'm not getting the message that maybe this is now becoming a collection of, excuse me, wake up, hello. So any advice?
Okay.
This is yours, Nancy.
This is mine. Okay.
Yeah, you take it. You go.
Animals communicate with us on so many different levels. And it's like I said to you, you really need to take the class because feathers also mean things. So when you're not sensing or seeing or listening or hearing, it's just like anything else with spirit, they will live signs, right? So the feathers are going to be your sign. So like even in the one message, you asked what animal it came from. At the end of the day, it doesn't necessarily matter what bird it came from. It matters that you saw the sign, you picked up the message and you took it home. So the next step that you need to do is you need to sit and reflect on that. You need to work with that energy and say, I often say to people, when you found the sign or you see the symbol, what were you thinking about at the time? Because spirit's coming in and giving you those messages. Spirit's coming in and saying, hey, pay attention to me, right? And there's it's the fact that you're finding like an entire bird worth of feathers says that there's clearly also some animal guides that you're working with. I sense you probably have a very strong eagle presence right now, and eagle energy is coming in. There's a sense of wisdom. There's a sense of opening up to your own inner knowing, being reliant on yourself, and trusting. We're going back to that word trust again. Trust, right? So what do you think? Then that's what it is. It's never negative too. I want you guys to all remember that when messages come through, if you hear negative talk, that's not spirit. That's your ego getting in the way. Okay.
Okay.
But there's so much I can show you with working with animal energy, especially bird energy and the feathers that you're finding. So
Okay, so I'm tracking in my journal. I am journaling. And I've taken your advice of, well, what was I feeling or what was I asking or what was on my mind for that. But and maybe I'm just being too hard on myself. I don't know. I'm just kind of like, come on, Peggy, like there's more, or maybe it's just like, okay, maybe you just need to go ground and chill until.
Sometimes it's just as simple as, hey, we're here. We're supporting you, right? So if you're going through a difficult time and suddenly you're finding a lot of feathers, that's your guides, that's your animal guides, your spirit guides, your angels on the other side, coming forward and supporting, going, yep, we got you. Now you need to have you need
In
to
First
trust.
Nations culture, it's protection. Feathers are protection.
Very much so, yeah.
So
And there's like a whole like Scientology and metaphysical belief on different colors and different energies that go with that, but that's much deeper and longer message than we have tonight.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, thank you.
we have a
And
few more minutes.
I will sign up as soon as I can figure out if I can get off shift at the right time to get to that course. Thank you.
You're welcome, Lovey.
We can even send the recording, so.
Okay, Bim and Andrea, you have a couple of minutes, so let's go quickly here. We'll take each, whoever wants to answer, we'll do one of us that will answer each one. Go ahead, Andrea.
Okay, I'm iPhone. I guess my biggest challenge right now is not knowing if I'm focusing on the different things I need to be doing because I've got so many balls in the air. And so I need help in figuring out where to focus my energy so that it's best utilized to keep the balance.
Oh, Lizina.
May I take this? So I'm going to say to you, be embodied in your body and ground. Because when you have all these balls in the air, half your energy is also up there holding the balls, right?
Yeah.
So you need to come back into your body and be embodied, right? And just connect with the earth. You don't have to like dig deep and just connect and then allow all of that to settle. And then whatever is the priority will start popping up.
Okay.
Will just become more prevalent. Do you understand? Where did you go? Oh, here
Yeah.
we go.
I'm here.
Yeah. So get into your body, be grounded so that you can actually receive it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Give it legs.
Yes. Okay. And not running legs.
Exactly. Grounded legs.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lizina.
You're welcome.
Excellent. Bim, we have time for your quick message or question. Go ahead.
Just a quick question. I've been in I'm kind of in a fog right now, and I'm just wondering, anybody can answer this. Do you see anything happening in the next 2 to 4 weeks? I kind of need a bit of a lift, and I have an anniversary that's coming up, which is very painful, and I've kind of got destabilized. So I need to lift myself out of it. So, and just see what's, could be, something coming up in the next month that'll lift me out of this. Anybody?
I'm just seeing if anyone, because I can overtalk
Nancy, I
everyone.
think
So
Nancy
go.
has something. No?
No, I was watching Tara, like we're all kind of like waiting sort of.
So I sometimes worry that Bim gets sick of hearing from me. So here's what I'm going to say to you, Bim. I've got all these other mediums and Tara keeps giving me the same message. Here's what I'm going to say to you. Actually, tomorrow night, when you come to the session, I really feel that your guides will give you that channel's message. I feel that what you get from there will be very powerful. And I'm being told to tell you that this anniversary that's coming up, it always digs deep into your heart. Do you understand? So your chest feels vacant and it feels empty. Do you understand? But you have survived it every time for the last 3 years. You have survived it. So in here, there seems to be something that's going to be built up for you, but you will get a grand message tomorrow. Might not be able to read it if I'm channeling it in my handwriting, but you will get that message tomorrow night at the event. We have quite a few people coming, so I'm being told that you will for sure get a message. So.
Okay, thank you so much.
Can I leave it like that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Thanks.
Everyone, thank you so much for coming and putting up with all the shenanigans at the beginning of this. I'm so grateful to have a group of people that can understand who I am. I'm talking about Lizina and Nancy, and how everything has to flow. So ladies, I'm so grateful to be able to participate with this show with you guys. And I'm always grateful for the love and light of the people that come through. Ladies, any final words?
Thank you for reciprocating that to us as well, Tara. Thank you for that. And yeah. Bim, I just wanted to add water. You use the element water. Be in water. Be in the emotion in the water. That's what they're saying.
Good. Womb lake.
Yes.
Womb lake.
Yes, I just want to say thank you to everyone as well. It's always a fantastic every Thursday being with you and holding space with you. So, and thank you, Tara, for hosting.
Thank you.
Lucy, you want to say something?
Tara, Lizina, Nancy, always know that you have loyal people who love
do.
your attention and love your company and your presence and all that you speak of. And I have nothing but love for Miss iPhone and Linda for them to finish what progress they're going to.
Aw.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much. Okay, guys, we'll see you on the flip side. I'll see some of you tomorrow night.
Oh,
And
have
others-
fun, Bim.
Next time we
Yeah.
convene.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
Have a good one.
Night.